Welcome back, everyone. We're talking now about the Rifter number 3. And more specifically, we're talking that everyone is Kung Fu fighting. That's right. We're going to talk about more ways you can use Kung Fu and all other different kinds of martial arts, specialty martial arts from, say, Ninjas and Super Spies in your other Palladium games. So let's see how they do it and what goes wrong.
The best tabletop RPG groups follow these core values to respect the campaign setting, the game, and the people at the table. Refer to the URL in the video's description to donate to the charity we support, the Wounded Warrior Project. Sunday on Rumble and YouTube, we provide tabletop RPG game, system, and setting overviews. Then on Friday, a panel of guests editorialize on the TTRPG hobby as a whole. Thursdays and Saturdays are when Heathen Dog leads his Dirty Casuals video game squad on twitch.tv/Legion of Myth. Please like and share this video with your friends and on social media, and subscribe to Legion of Myth for more tabletop RPG content. Oop. You're not presenting your thing? Oh no, I'm not presenting your thing. That was my fault. Well, I had my ear. Hey, by the way, that speaker that I was telling you that was a problem kicked in.
Awesome.
Yeah, like I was like, damn it, took my ear out. Anyway, go ahead.
All right, anyway. So yes, we're looking at Rift number 3, and on the cover are the Zytikics. The last time I say that, but we're not going to cover that right now. We are going to cover everybody's Kung Fu fighting.
Dun, 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 dun.
Exactly. They're not just for ninjas and super spies anymore. All right,
Ooh.
by Wayne Smith. Imagine this.
Wayne.
Imagine this. Party on, Wayne. You're a game master. You've got a player who wants his characters to know a martial art, but he doesn't want to pick a martial artist OCC and devote his entire life to this thing. What do? I say you encourage it. Martial arts are fun and exciting and a great way to spice up the game. Okay. This whole beginning part is Wayne fanboying on martial arts. He loves martial arts. He loves martial arts and games. When Ninjas and Super Spies came out, he about creamed his jeans. And we're going to actually says so somewhere in here. I forget
exactly. That he creamed his jeans?
No, that Ninja Super Spy is the awesomest thing ever made in life.
I mean, to be fair, I mean, martial art movies are going all the way back in time, are fan favorites, right?
Yeah. Besides the excitement factor, martial arts are useful tools in many other situations. In Rifts, even though MDC monsters roam the wild and MDC-clad warriors chase them, what do you do when you're hanging out in a bar in a city where you had to check your weapons and armor at the front gate and some juicer punk starts harassing you? Well, if you don't have any way of defending yourself in a meaningful fashion, that juicer is just going to end up humping you whenever he wants. That's how juicers work. Crazies too. They do that. They're SDC kings. That's what they are. But what if you have Aikido or Jiu-Jitsu and you turn his power against him? Well, now you can maybe not win, but you could shame him into leaving. That's doable. I still don't think you can win against a juicer, but you know what? There it is. Now for the next question. How can you justify having characters who learn martial arts growing up in a devastated, war-torn world like that of Rifts? Okay, well, it goes into saying, yes, society has devolved. Yes, a lot of things were lost, and martial arts, probably a lot of them are lost as well, lost to time. Sands of time blew them away. But there's got to be some.
Yeah, there's always going to be some sort of commune or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, there's got to be some left. There's got to be a way for you to learn. But since you didn't grow up in these cloistered communities that still have these martial arts and are still teaching them, how do you learn them? Well, Wayne devised a system to where people who aren't martial arts OCCs can learn martial arts if you get them during your background. If you come across someone who knows it in your background. Well, how do you do it? Well, let's move on. And how much is this going to cost me? Here you go. Inevitable question. How much does it cost? It's going to cost a lot, but you might want to pay. First, you need to be sure that the character can reasonably learn the martial art. To start, the OCC of the character must be permitted to select hand-to-hand martial arts.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
So your OCC has to be some kind of warrior OCC to be able to select martial arts. If this skill is not available, the character cannot study a martial art. Secondly, if the character is not allowed boxing as an OCC related skill, you cannot choose a martial art. Now, the idea behind this is that so you don't have every leyline walker or psychic master just learning all these martial arts and becoming combat gods in hand-to-hand
I spent 3
combat.
skills in secondary skill martial arts.
Yeah, exactly. No, if you're not allowed to have boxing as a related OCC, which many OCCs are not, boxing and wrestling are usually one of the ones that are not permitted if you are not a man-at-arms type OCC. You just can't get it. I'm sorry. And those are good rules. I like that. And finally, the player should come up with a good explanation of why, where, and how the character studied this fighting style. I mean, did you run across the Rift's version of Kwai Chang Caine? Maybe. Okay. And you became his martial arts apostle for a few years? Okay. That's doable. That's fine. If the character meets all the above criteria, then comes the cost of learning it. First, the character must have hand-to-hand martial arts. You have to pay to have it. Does that mean you have to buy it through other skills, like sacrificing other skills? Then you have to do that. You must have martial arts first. If necessary, spend the required other skill to raise your hand-to-hand level to this level. Then, for an ordinary non-exclusive martial art, spend an additional 4 skill selections from your other skills, not secondary skills, other skills. Now,
which are also known as OCC related.
Yeah, which are also known as OCC related skills. So you're burning through your OCC related skills, which are important for your damn job. Now, to be fair, your primary OCC skills are all you need to do your job, but burning through related skills takes away a lot of your utility.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope you're getting something that makes up for that. An exclusive form like Aikido or certain kung fu type stuff or ninjutsu or stuff like that is exclusive. It takes 6 skill selections instead of 4 from your other skills.
Some don't even get 6, do they?
Some may not even get 6. You're right. For more information about exclusive and non-exclusive art forms, you have to go to ninjas and super spies. You need ninjas and super spies to use this. You need it. That's the caveat. That's the rub. This may seem a bit high, but remember that most martial arts form include additional learned skills, not to mention mystical chi powers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And chi powers in Rifts turn into mega damage powers. They're no joke. Okay, so it's good stuff. If a certain OCC lacks a required number of skill selections, then that OCC simply requires too much intensive training to give you time to learn martial arts. If you can't pay for the martial art, you can't get it. There is no banking for the future. Well, I'll sacrifice these. No, sorry. No. If you don't have enough related, like a lot of master psychics, they just don't have a lot of related to others or other skills. They don't. Because all of their time was used in strengthening their psionic powers. So guess what? You had no time to do this. And that's fair. That's completely fair in my book. Absolutely fine. I'm all about it. Alternatively, don't do this. The game master may allow the player to exchange 2 secondary skills for each skill selection needed as a martial art. Don't do that. Don't do that. We've got a good system in place. It makes sense. Don't screw with it. Related or other skills only. It is inadvisable to let any character study more than one martial art form in this manner, even if he has sufficient number of free skill selections. Yeah, if you're not a martial arts dedicated OCC, you shouldn't have more than one of these ninja and super spies martial art forms. You shouldn't.
Well, the reason I'm a vagabond is because I didn't learn anything else in life. I just learned how to kick people really well, so...
Yeah, well, guess what? You didn't learn anything about being a vagabond either, apparently, because you burned up all your skills.
I'm going with the purest. I'm going with the purest term of vagabond, not some job. Job.
Oh, right. Yeah. I gotcha. And that's all there is to it. If the players are happy because they get to do all sorts of nifty kung fu stuff, the game master's happy because the players might stop shooting up everything in sight and start to take a more personal approach. Who knows? If they're chasing after criminals or a bounty, they might actually bring them back alive for once. All in all, martial arts should make the game more interesting and fun, and that's what it's all about, isn't it? And I have to take on this note, I have to take the devil's advocate on this, because there's a lot of problems with the ninja and super spies martial arts forms. Number one, you're never going to have a lot of attacks per round, or attacks per melee, because in the beginning, especially early on, you are really hampered in your number of attacks compared to other Rifts characters. I'm not even talking crazy or juicer. I'm talking just regular folk. Though a first level leyline walker will probably have more hand-to-hand actions per melee than you at level 1. So that there's a problem. But hey, you know what? If you can deal with that, then you can deal with that. And we move on. Oh, that was the Nightbane one? That was it?
Well, I thought this was all part of it, combining martial arts and Nightbane. I thought that was the same.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, I guess. But there's William Munich, I guess. That's how I'm doing it. William Munich. He's always loved martial arts. Another lover, another martial arts lover. And he loves ninjas and super spies because he took martial arts when he was a kid. So he decided to make this martial arts for Nightbane. And why it was Nightbane on his mind when he was creating martial arts forms? Why was Nightbane on his mind? Because he played Nightbane and he realized that if you're not in amorphous form, any human fighting anything from the Nightlands thing is going to win, because it's so much stronger than a normal human. So what he did was he created martial arts forms that utilize weapons, even guns, to give normal people or people who weren't Nightbane a chance, a shot. Now, what do you come up with? Let's find out. Bishudo is a creation of a master martial artist who lives in New York City. He began teaching students how to defend themselves with a minimum of weapons in the late 1960s. This led to the development of martial art that focuses on knives and kicks. Instruction is available only in New York City from the master. The knives, which have a 6-inch double-edged blade, are often strapped to the individual's forearms and then allowed to slide into the hand when needed. Because of their extensive training, practitioners of art can perform locks and holds even with knives in their hands. No entrance requirement. Just got to be clean of drugs and stay out of trouble with the law. Skill cost 5 years. Now, just like in Ninjas and Super Spies, a lot of martial arts costs time. That means your character has to be 5 years older than your starting age.
Well, it also prevents you from the middle, like when you go up from level 1, level 2, or whatever, being like, hey, I'm going to go learn another martial art form.
Well, it'll take you 5 years.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Yeah. So it stops you from collecting martial arts like coins or Pokemon or whatever. And what do they get? They get +2 to physical prowess, +1 to mental endurance, +4 to speed, and +10 to SDC. Now remember, this is made for Nightbane, an SDC-based world. Those are pretty good. That's pretty good stats. Combat skills, it's blank. I don't know if that's a misprint or not, but there we are. Attacks per melee 3. Escape moves, roll with impact, backflip, and maintain balance. Dodge, parry, auto parry, that's normal. Advanced defenses are disarm. You get that out of the gate. You get to disarm people out of the gate. Strike and palm strike, basic foot attacks, kick attack, spinning kick attack, which is a spinning hook kick, which is a special kick. It does 2d6 damage, straight to hit points. And on a strike of 15 or higher, not including bonuses, and if successful, has a 20% chance of knocking out the target for 1d6 melees. That's powerful. 20% chance to knock out at first level.
One of my issues with Ninjas and Super Spies, and this is kind of the exception that proves the rule here, is that all those different spinning kicks and front kicks and axe kicks and so on and so forth made no difference. Okay, one might be 1d6 damage, the other might be 2d6 damage. So guess which kick the person's doing every single time? Some of them did 3d6 damage but took 2 attacks and so forth. I get that. The whole point is like fronting, whatever kick does D6, this other kick does a D6. That's just all narrative driven stuff. Just call it kick. And this was one of my parts, but I could do all these cool things and none of it ever matters. And oh, by the way, because this one does 2d6 and that one does 1d6, you're always doing the same damn kick over and over again. And you could say something, well, in certain circumstances, this one kick wouldn't work as well as the other one. Right. But again, that's all narrative based. So I think that when you have this list of kicks and punches, like in Kung Fu, I learned Tiger Fist, I learned Leopard Fist, which was my favorite. I learned different ways of striking, so forth. None of that freaking matters whether I'm using an elbow or a fist when it comes to game mechanics. It's all narrative driven. And this is one of the few times when I look at Palladium and say, this is information that's not needed. It's a narrative. Caveat, how this guy handled that kick with the 15 or higher, actually giving it a function and so forth, that's different. And this is why when people look at all the things you can do in Ninja and Super Spies, 80% of it doesn't matter.
That's fair. This one not only has a chance of being downgraded to a regular kick. If you don't strike natural roll of 15 or higher, then it's downgraded to just 1d8 SDC. And you can only use this kick once per melee. So you can't try again until next round. So yeah, there's a payoff, but even if you fail, it's still a regular kick, right?
Yep.
Okay. That's fine. That's fine. We got a lot of locks, elbow lock, wrist lock, automatic wrist lock, automatic elbow lock. That is, someone tries to attack you, you go and lock up their arm, whatever. Weapon proficiencies, knives paired. That's a good one. It gets better. Special knife attack, pummel strike. That's even with a knife in your hand, you can still hit someone and not cut them by hitting them with the base of your knife. Slash, it's a 1d6 damage, normal stuff. Thrust, it's 1d6 plus 2, but because you're telegraphing it a bit, because you're putting a lot of oomph in it, opponents are +1 to parry or dodge. Okay, that has benefits and drawbacks. And a stab, quick thrust, does 1d6 damage. So a stab and a slash thematically are different, but game mechanic wise, they do the same thing. Okay. Now you get martial art powers. Select 2 powers from either martial art techniques or art of invisibility. In addition, the character gains the Zanshin technique. If desired, any number of powers other than Zanshin can be traded 1-for-1 for any basic skill program. That's normal in Ninja and Super Spies. You can trade powers for skill programs because powers take so long to actually develop into a combat-ready utility that you can spend the exact number of years getting like anywhere between 3 and 5 skills.
Remember, it's in the name, powers.
Yeah, exactly. Powers. Yes. And here we go. Right here. You got for levels, we have level 1, critical strike from behind. You get out of the gate, critical strike from behind. +3 to roll with impact, +2 to pull punch, +2 to damage with knives, +1 to strike. You get your extra attack at level 3, plus parry and dodges, and it goes on and on. A lot of stuff. It's based on knives, knife and kick pairing. The character can parry with either 1 or 2 knives and attack with a kick simultaneously. Example, the knife and kick pairing. When attacked, the character can parry the attack with a knife and simultaneously counterstrike using any of the following kicks: kick attack, crescent kick, or tripping/leg hook. Or the character can parry 2 attacks because you have paired weapons with knives. 2 attacks and kick. Example, your opponent does a twin strike at you with his 2 sai. You do a double parry and kick attack to the chest all in one action. At 10th level, a spinning hook can be used in addition to the other types of kicks. So that special spinning hook kick from over here that you get, you can now at level 10, which is, a long way away, but at level 10, you can use that as well as a double parry. So this is useful in Nightbane and in Palladium Fantasy, in Heroes Unlimited, and Beyond the Supernatural. This is a useful martial art technique, and it doesn't seem too overpowered. Well, the next one we have Qi Kung martial arts, generic martial art form taught to many government agents around the world. It is simple but offers great versatility because that simplicity can be taught in about 2 years. The downside is that it doesn't teach any of the martial arts powers. But if you don't want to introduce all the mystical nonsense from Ninjas and Super Spies, this is the best one, because it doesn't introduce that stuff. You don't have any Zenjoriki or Chi abilities or Art of Invisibility or Stone Ox or whatever it is, all the magical nonsense. If you just want some people fighting each other, then this is it. Skills including training, martial arts powers, none. Skills, weapon, knife, weapon, automatic pistol. Automatic pistol. Now, when I first read this, I'm like, oh my God, we've got gun kata from the Equilibrium movie. Oh my God, this is, no, it's not. It's not that cool. I'm sorry. It's nowhere near that cool. If Palladium came out with gun kata, whatever, I would play Palladium all the time, because gun kata, I want to be a Gamatron cleric or whatever they were called.
Make it, or it's probably in a rift or somewhere.
Probably in a rift or somewhere. I'm going to get to it sooner or later. Note on weapon proficiency, automatic pistol. The training of using a pistol in conjunction with a martial art brings up some limitations. The character cannot punch with the hand holding the pistol, only pistol whip. He cannot perform holds or locks when holding a pistol, and he cannot perform any body flips, automatic or other or normal. I don't understand why that is. I'm holding a gun. I can't do a body flip. I've seen people backward flip with one palm. I've seen that happen. The hell? Because the generic nature of this martial art, any secondary form can be learned in a shorter time. That doesn't matter. But we have +3 to roll with punch impact and pull punch, +2 to cartwheel, +2 to strike, parry and dodge, +1 attack. It's normal stuff. Nothing. If you want to introduce martial arts but not imbalance your campaign with magical stuff, this is the one you use. This is it. You get an automatic dodge at level 11. That's good stuff.
Hey, you get +2 to handstand. I didn't know that it was a thing.
That was a thing. It's a thing now. Character bonuses, +1 to physical power, strength, endurance, +3 to speed, +10 to SDC. Those are pretty fair. I mean, they're modest bonuses, but they're bonuses nonetheless. Here we go. Chiang Di Chuang. I'm not doing that anymore. Spear of the Earth's Strength. Very powerful martial art. Again, using weapon, this time a spear. There are no frills or mysticism. Everything is about strength and hardening the body to withstand damage. It was developed by a master of Tiger Claw Kung Fu who felt that in order to defeat your enemy, the only object needed was your body. To this end, he developed what is the most physically demanding martial arts ever. His students did not hold the same ideal. After his death, the art mutated into its current form, a synthesis of the original martial art and a spear-based form. Now, the reason his students decided to screw old man, he didn't know what he's talking about, is because back in the day, their temple was raided by people who used weapons, and they got routed. So they decided, hey, we're going to teach ourselves to use weapon. They chose spear. So with the combination of the intense damage of a spear and their already immense body hardening techniques, they went back after 10, 20 years and killed everyone that raided their temple to the last person. And so this was deemed effective and therefore was used. No endurance requirement. Skill costs 7 years because it's heavy into the body hardening. That takes time. And what do we get for it? We get +3 to strength, +1 to PE. Again, all about making the body stronger. And +20 to SDC. Not 10 like the others, 20. But only 2 attacks per melee. Does that matter? Yeah, but these 2 attacks are pretty devastating. So you might only need 2. You get a whole bunch of stuff, but here's the cool thing. Weapon katas. Weapon proficiency spear at 2 levels higher than your current level.
Oh, wow.
So you start off level 3 spear weapon proficiency at level 1.
Which is pretty much just +1 to strike and parry.
It's more than that. It's more than that. You get more. Plus, when you go up to level 2, you're actually level 4. 3 is actually level 5. It goes higher. You get the weapon proficiency at 2 levels higher than your current level, which means whatever your current level is, you get this proficiency 2 levels higher.
No, I know a lot of it's front loaded, but I don't know spear off the top of my head. But most of the weapon proficiencies, you don't even get a bonus at level 1. So, or if you do, it's parry. I'm
attack. From what I understand, you get some more special attacks with the spear, like super.
I mean, I'm not complaining, to be sure.
Yeah. Modifiers, pull, punch, critical strike from behind. That's great. Martial arts powers. Select 2 powers from body hardening exercises or special katas. In addition, all students receive the Stone Ox technique for free. Stone Ox technique is the whole thing where, for you younger people, you probably don't know this, but when Elvis was toward the end of his career working in Vegas, he did a thing where he would have a bow staff on his neck, and he would walk toward it, and it would bend and then snap. Just him walking toward it, right in the base of his neck, and he would be fine. That's because he hardened his body through these exercises. That's the kind of thing this is. And let's see, what do you get? +2 to maintain balance, +2 to damage. At level 1, an extra +2 to damage. Damage with what? All things. All things hand to hand and with weapon, +2 to damage. Actually, no, it doesn't even say that. It just says +2 to damage. I don't know, throwing a rock, +2 damage. Technically, I wouldn't allow that, but it seems like it. Why study this thing? It's a very powerful martial art and focus almost exclusively on inflicting damage to your opponent and being able to handle what he dishes out. With the long reach and power of a spear, it allows a student to take on multiple attackers as easily as a single one and dispatch them quickly. One of the best points is that you do not necessarily need a spear in order to get the most out of this art. A lot of it can also be done with a staff. A spear is just better because it does more damage. It has a big knife at the end. But a staff, you can use most of the martial arts stuff in here the same way. And then we have the Way of the Psy Ghost. This is, guess what weapon we're using here?
Tonfa? Oh, you're using your spiritual psychic energy. Got it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, okay, that's it. You're a dick. All right. Is an ancient martial art taught in the mountains of China. Bo Chan, an ancient master of martial arts, retreated to the mountains in order to develop his skills in peace. One such skill involved the use of Gen, or Sai, as they are known, Japanese because it's Chinese. After a dozen years, he developed a precursor to this martial art, and at the time, purely physical martial art. During this time, many students sought him out, hearing his prowess. They learned from him, and then they advanced the technique to what it is today. It costs 8 years of time.
Wow.
Yeah. And you get +1 to physical prowess, strength, endurance, mental endurance, +5 to speed, +10 to SDC, and the thing I hate most, +10 to chi.
I trained in the Sai, and it didn't take me 10 years, and I was actually pretty good with that, even though I wasn't supposed to learn weapons because I was still too new. There isn't a lot behind the Sai. It's one of the reasons why I picked it up.
Using it this way, there is.
Okay.
What do we get? Strike, knife hand, fingertip attack. The fingertip attack. There you go. Weapon kata, Sai, paired, again, at 2 levels higher than your current level. Not only do you get this weapon proficiency for free, you get it paired just like the knife guy, and 2 levels higher than what you normally start at. It's a good deal. I'd take that deal. Note on weapon proficiency Sai. What follows is an expanded version of weapon proficiency Forked. Sai are very versatile weapons, which, like many Oriental weapons, were originally farming implements. There are 3 general ways to hold a Sai. Blah, 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 open, close, whatever. Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You can do all that. I'm not going to get into it now. Bonuses: +1 to strike at levels 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 12, and 15. +1 to parry at levels 1, 4, 7, 10, and 13. +1 to strike when thrown at levels 3, 8, 13, and 15. +1 to entangle at levels 1, 4, 6, 8, 12, and 14. That's why it takes 8 years.
You got
to learn to do all that. You got to learn to do all that stuff. Special strike, thrust, pommel strike, hook, side strike, elbow strike. All things with the Sai in your hand. Martial arts powers, arts of invisibility, and 1 power from chi master abilities. If desired, any number of powers can be traded 1 for 1 for a skill program. Skills: weapon for Sai paired. And you get bonuses to roll punch impact, maintain balance, chi abilities, 1 additional attack level 3, that's normal. All that stuff. So yes, this one is really good. If you want to bring in the chi abilities, this is the first one with actual chi powers. I don't like chi, but you might. So you might want to introduce it this way. And the paired weapon sai is very versatile. They're both attack and defensive weapons. So having a couple of sai in your hand, you're in armed or unarmed combat, you're doing okay. You're all right. Lei Feng Do, the way of the thunder wind. Now, exactly, thunder wind, the way of the fart. That's what this is. The way of the flatulence. I'm sorry, man. That's just the way it is. You know, your audience is American and we're juvenile, and that's where we're going. So the way of the flatulence, what does it do? It gives you +2 to physical prowess, +1 to strength, endurance, mental endurance, +5 to speed, and +15 to SDC. That's not bad. That's pretty good. You know, mastering your farts apparently makes you strong in body. I get that.
Well, also makes you agile because you got to get the hell out of there.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can use your farts as a propellant to increase your speed.
Yeah, +5 to speed. Yeah, I hear.
Yeah, see, increase your speed. You get body flip throw, choke, neck hold choke, wrist lock, automatic wrist lock, weapon katas. You get nunchucks at 2 levels higher than your current level. Now, why is that important? Because nunchucks are one of the few weapons that you can use holds and chokes with the weapon in your hand. You can do elbow locks, wrist locks, choke holds, leg locks with nunchucks in your hand because you're using the nunchucks to do it. That means you have a lot more versatility in your attack and defense modes, even while being armed. That's a good deal. And it gives you the damage on nunchucks, depending on what they're made of. They can be anywhere from 1d8 to 2d6, depending on if they're made of, say, balsa wood or metal or whatever, you know.
Balsa wood.
They'll go up and down. And skills you get 2 powers from martial art techniques, special katas, or body hardening. Okay, no, none of that chi nonsense yet. And you get +2 roll with impact, +1 to hold, +1 to maintain balance, +2 parry and dodge. You know, as you go up in levels, and +2 entangle. All that stuff is great. And then
Oh
we
my
have
God, how many martial arts are in this book?
We're gonna go through. I think this is the last one.
No, I'm not complaining. I'm actually, again, look how big the book is and how much information it gives you. This article isn't just here, have a martial arts attitude. It's like, let's give you some options that are probably more than in the main book. And I don't mean the Ninjas and Super Spies book. I'm talking like in the Nightbane book or whatever. Like,
yeah. Well, we're gonna breeze over this one because it's sexist. It's female only.
Luan Mao.
Devil. So devil woman. You have to be female to use it. You get +1 to physical prowess, endurance, +2 to physical prowess, +1 endurance, mental affinity. You get sexier looking or sexier seeming. Okay, I can see. Yeah, you learn how to move. Okay, I can see that. That's fair. I can see it.
Yeah, you move graceful, effeminate. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Weapon proficiencies. What do you get? Fan, paired fans, and skirt. Yes, weapon proficiency skirt.
Okay, you're reading that one.
Yeah, I know. All right. Incorporates use of a long skirt to mask the practitioner's kicks. By spinning and whipping the skirt, she can conceal the position of her legs. However, while using the skirt, you cannot use any punches, locks, weapons, or anything else that requires your hands because you got to hold on the skirt. When you get 7th level, you can hold on with the skirt with one hand so you can punch or use a weapon with the other. Now, that's all it says. It doesn't say, oh no, here, bonuses. Here you go. This might be it. When you're using weapon proficiency skirt, you get +1 to strike with kicks at levels 1, 3, 6, 9, 12, and 15. +1 to entangle or parry with a skirt at levels 2, 4, 7, 10, and 13. When you're using your skirt to mask your legs, you get bonuses to strike with your kicks because your opponent can't see where they're coming from. Fair. I get it. But, you know, it doesn't have to be just a sexist female martial art form. What about Scottish people? They have kilts, just real long kilts.
Yeah, but those aren't long flowing dresses.
Yeah, well,
it's a long flowing.
It's a special sex. Shut up. All right. Next one is Attack of the Devil Dragon. Not Double Dragon. When I first saw this, I read Double Dragon, but no, the Devil Dragon.
Double Dragon. Is this the man version?
This is I don't know. This is another martial art form used by governments around the world, but unlike Qigong, it combines special powers as well. Takes you 5 years instead of 2 because it has actual powers in it. But your bonuses are pretty cool. +2 to physical prowess, +1 to strength, +2 to endurance, +5 to speed, and +10 to SDC. And you get 4 attacks instead of 3. It's a good deal. I like it. What's the special weapon thing you get? Knife. Weapon proficiency knife. Just regular knife. No dual paired knives, no special knife powers, just knife. But you get 2 martial arts powers from body hardening exercises except Qigong, art of invisibility except for actual Qi invisibility, or any specialty katas. So pretty much any good magic stuff you don't get. Skills. You get not only weapon proficiency knife, but you also get gymnastics. Because this is one of the jumpy stuff. This is like Yoda jumpy martial arts. So you get gymnastics. So people like Max Liao are like, you can't take gymnastics and yes, I can.
No, you can take gymnastics. You're just not taking gymnastics and acrobatics.
No, I take acrobatics and I get gymnastics for free. I didn't take both. Letter of the law, bitch.
Nope.
And I know how you don't like that. That's the way it is.
Actually, I'd probably allow it for a character like this because these characters are tailored very specifically for that.
Yeah, that's their shtick, the whole jumpy around thing. Okenwa. And when I first read this, I didn't see Obi-Wan Kenobi martial arts, but I thought it. Great sword harmony. Okenwa is a martial art form practiced by many people who use a sword for its real purpose, to kill folk.
Is Wa harmony? Because Ken is sword, and O means it's just a term of respect. So Oken would be like
honorable sword technique.
Yeah.
That'd be a good translation. That'd be a good enough translation. Okay, 8 years it takes you, but you get +3 to physical prowess, and you have to have 13 to start. That means your minimum physical prowess is 16. You get a bonus. Good for you.
8 years, Jesus.
Yeah, 8 years, man. It takes a long time, but you're starting off with a 16 physical prowess. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. It's a good deal. +1 to strength, +1 to PE, +5 to speed, and +15 to SDC. That's pretty good too. And you get 4 attacks. All of them with sword, most likely. Or you get a palm strike too, whatever. Weapon katas, weapon proficiency sword, paired, 2 levels higher. Paired swords, 2 levels higher than your current level. That's crazy. That's crazy because at level 3, you probably get an extra attack per round. So now you're up to 5 sword attacks per round at level 1. Compared to all the other martial arts on this thing, that's freaking nuts. That's nuts. You also get magic stuff. Select 2 powers from either martial art techniques or the art of invisibility. In addition, the character automatically gets Yai Jutsu. I don't know what that is. If desired, any number of powers other than that can be traded. I don't know what that does. It probably has something to do with sword magic. I don't know. Is it like crouching tiger hidden, hiding my sword up your butt? I don't know, but it probably is. And of course, you get paired swords as a free weapon proficiency. Level advancement, +2 to strike, parry, and dodge. Oh my God. So many bonuses at level 1. It's crazy. +2 to damage, +2 to backflip. Gains Chagi. I don't know. Kick practice. Okay. I don't know what that does because I didn't read that part. You get a death blow at 5th level. That's great.
At level 5? Wow.
Yeah. Death blow level 5. That's crazy.
Because usually that's around, 8 to 12?
Yeah, that's higher. Here we go and get more swords. Eternal Fires of the Sword. Over the span of the journeys, he traveled from the northern islands of Japan and the Ural Mountains. The vagabond eventually reached the highest level of states, that of an enlightened immortal. The person who made this thing, enlightened immortal. That's great. That means it's going to be really OP. What do you got? Oh yeah, skill cost 14 years. Yep, 14 years.
Well, you're just playing an ancient master at this point, right?
Yeah, you're an ancient master at this point. Yeah, that's basically it. Now, I understand from the background, the guy is immortal. He doesn't care about time. He's going to make you learn it at the pace he thinks you should learn it, which is damn slow.
You're 75 and finally
make it. I made it, master. You're a novice now. Oh no.
Go learn.
Tarnation. Oh no. Let's see. Stance, blah, blah. +3 to physical prowess, +1 strength, endurance, and +5. That's for 14 years. That is not impressive enough. Attacks per melee 4.
Attacks per melee is impressive.
Yeah, but it's the same as the sword guy. And it only took him 8. This is 14. I should be better than this. All right, what do we get for it? Foot attacks, hand attacks. That's it? Are you kidding me?
Select an additional martial art power at level 3.
Cartwheel, handstand, leap, somersault, backflip. I got to be missing. This is not worth it. This is not worth it at all. I don't even see any mystical abilities in here. It says it talks about it, but I don't see any. And oh no. This is a bad printing. Look. There's a whole section missing.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, there's a whole section missing.
Hey, write that down. Write that.
I didn't
write
catch
that down. No, that's fine. Because there's another one. What page is that? Page 37?
Yes.
What's the number page 37? What's the name of the martial arts style?
It is the fiery Eternal Fires of the Sword.
Yunghuo, Yunghuojen. I'll just leave it at that. Okay.
When Kevin comes on, we're gonna burn him for this.
Wow, burn him.
Burn him down. Burn him down.
There's an issue with one of the books in the bundle of holding that people were downloading where the PDF was missing a page apparently. And so Palladium's gonna update that. This might be nothing he can do about that. Actually might be how the book was written, unfortunately. So hopefully there's an errata.
There could be no original digital copy.
Yeah, but there could be errata, like they did errata in this one for the Techno Wizard. Well, when you do Rifter number 4, we'll find out if there's an errata here.
Yep, and that's it. That is all of the martial arts in this section. Now,
that is a lot of stuff.
It is a lot of stuff. Do you want to use these martial arts in your game? The cool thing is it can be yes and no. You can choose which ones. You can cherry pick which ones, especially in Rifts, especially in modern day. Because your people aren't just going to naturally come around people who know all these martial arts. They're not. It's going to be a wandering ancient master, or you have to travel to Tibet or whatever to learn one of them. And it's whatever the game master chooses you can learn. That's the one you can learn. If the game master doesn't want any goofy magic chi nonsense, then the only ones allowed are the ones that don't have any goofy magic chi nonsense, or vice versa.
One of the things that I might think of
more utility than ninjas and super spies.
What do you think of this? I'm like you. I don't use the chi powers. Yep. But there's got to be something to make up for them. How about give them an extra attack? And I'm saying that for Rift specifically because in Rift people are starting with 5-6 attacks anyway.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, either an extra attack or extra other power like body hardening power, because especially in Rifts, you're going to want a couple of these body hardening powers because having them makes you an MDC creature.
Oh, does it really?
Yeah, if you choose the right one.
MDC is so bloated, man.
Because if you choose the right one, you can become an MDC. You're not a supernatural creature, but you have mega damage now. It's minor. It's like 10 or 20, but still, that's a good deal. I'll take that deal. I'll give up this stupid chi crap to be a minor mega damage creature any day of the week, twice on Sunday. I'll do that. But that's me. And if it's your game, it might not be you. That's fine too. But this gives you choice. You get to choose which martial arts are in your world in a much more comfortable way than if you were playing Ninjas and Super Spies, which requires you to have a plethora.
Yeah.
So what do we have for comments?
Let's start a couple here. Mark Hockman says, for once, I feel like the writer has PTSD from murder hobo players. Yeah,
that is true. I mean, the reason to have these martial art techniques is to give players an opportunity to use something besides a murder, death, kill weapon like a gun. I get
that. Gun kata is in Mystic China.
How can gun kata be in Mystic China? I don't know about that, but okay. Not the equilibrium gun kata. That's what I'm looking for.
You remember what the rules were for using these type of martial arts in TMNT? As far as I'm aware, there were no specific rules about it. That you just incorporated them or didn't. I tried to. I found it to be a failure, and I stopped doing it.
There you go. If you can make it work, if you can finesse the numbers to make it work in TMNT, good on you. It's doable. We just didn't do it.
Like I said, and I've said this a million times, I'll say it a million more times as future goes on. In my experience, all people did was look for the highest bonuses they could get.
Yep.
Is this going to be a long-term campaign, short-term campaign? Short-term, okay, what's the one that gives the most crap up front? You know, Ejutsu is quick drop partner.
I don't know, that
Well,
doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, but it's about the swords. That's my buddy. It even said in there that they like that. Oftentimes they like their swords better than other people. It's the cavalrymen of. And Voice of One says, yeah, the erratas and later rifters.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Then we're gonna come across it. Excellent.
At some point.
At some point, we'll come across it, and y'all have to remember to go back to this video.
Yeah, we'll have to remember that. Were we missing something? So, all right, there we go. Cool. All right, that's it for this one. So what is it? How are you going to conclude today's stream, sir? And what can they find in the next video?
Okay, in the next video, we are going to talk about the Zytikics, the bug people in Rifts, and in the original Rifts writings of it, it didn't give anything. A couple of paragraphs here, a couple of paragraphs there, a page here, a page there. This is the first time that the bug people had their entire structure laid out, so everyone knows how they work, their life cycle, what the queen does, what a nurse is, all that stuff. It later on they have their own supplemental books, but if you just want to know how it works, getting this book is the way to go. So stay tuned for that.